You guys ever seen a knife and thought to yourself, this is over the top? Have you ever seen a knife and thought to yourself, there's no way that they made that? Have you ever seen a knife and thought to yourself, that's just nuts? Well, all those knives you saw pale in comparison to what you're looking at in front of you. This is the Pmp Kodiak, and we're gonna take a look at it because I've been carrying it all day. Let's turn this around so you can see this insanity firsthand. All right, so we saw the unboxing of this the other day, at least for me anyway. This is the Pmp Knives Kodiak. Now, this is the first day I've carried it, so I've got a different respect for this knife now that I've carried it for a day, because when it came, I was thinking the same thing that a lot of you guys are thinking. I was like, that's over the top, that's nuts, that's really cool. But can you use it? Is it a useful, absolutely useful knife? Does it cut? Can I use it to cut cardboard and things like that? And I gotta say, it does an okay job for most of everything I've done so far. This came to me directly from Pmp Knives, so I can only assume that this is the best possible version of this. Jim Skelton and I both did our unboxing videos the same time. Mine went up a day before his. But Jim did basically a full review. All I did was an unboxing. So this is an M390, 5mm M390, full titanium handle, titanium hardware, titanium pocket clip knife done by Pmp Knives. This is coming in at 10 ounces. Now, this is thumb studs only, but the action on it is ridiculously easy to deploy, to the point where even this huge knife, I can reverse flick off of the thumb studs. Lock up on it, stupid good. Like, that is a bank vault. There is no play any direction. And the action on it is super smooth. And it's not just the weight of the blade that's doing it. It is very, very smooth in its action. The blade is really thick. It is M390 that's done at 5mm, but it transitions down on this blade pretty well. Now, the blade shape on this, most people are calling it drop point. Jarrett called it a drop point. Jim called it a drop point. I'm going to say this is more spear point. I know they made that inference, but I'm going to say this is a spear point. In my opinion, this is very spear point-esque. I'm going to go ahead and call it that because that central line is just about dead center in the middle. Really, really heavily checkered frag pattern on this, which is not sharp. It just feels good. You've got pretty good traction. It doesn't feel slippery. You've got this gear pattern style jimping on the backspacer, which typically I'm not a fan of, but on this knife, it works. It makes it look really, really cool. This looks like something out of Warhammer 40K. It really does. This looks like something a Space Marine would carry. Huge jimping in the spine all the way down through the knife. And then you've got this, like I said, you've got this really well done frag pattern on here that gives you grip and feels good, but is not sharp. It's not aggressive. It's not over the top. It doesn't feel sharp anywhere in that frag pattern. It just feels like it was supposed to. You've got pretty comfortable grip, even though it's big and beefy. It feels comfortable. It does not feel that over the top in hand, in my opinion. I've got big hands, so that might not be everyone's consensus, but it does not feel out of sorts in your hand. It feels comfortable. Access to the lock bar, really good. You can slow roll this on that thumb stud. You don't necessarily have to flip it. And like I said, it came really sharp. Now, I have used this a bunch and I had to resharpen it. I did some chopping with it and I may have to sharpen it again because you can kind of see I did do some over the top stuff with this. I didn't film any of it, but except for a cardboard cut. But I did do a sharpness test with it with the factory edge. You can see that here, right there. And I will cut to some cardboard cutting right now so you can see it's not just a gimmick. It actually is a functional, well-cutting knife. I'm pretty curious how this is going to cut cardboard. So I don't have a lot of cardboard. What I do have is a Pacifico box. Let's see how this does. It's just single oh yeah. It cuts surprisingly well for as big a knife as it is. I'm pretty surprised. No, actually I'm not. All the Pmp stuff so far, but yeah, just a little quick first day. So you saw it does a pretty good job with cardboard. Now, I will say that it's going to have some downsides, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But just overall on impressions, this is not just over the top. It's insanely cool that they were able to take the Alpha Beast, which was a massive knife. Jim Skelton has one. It's like twice this thickness, and turn this into something that for a lot of people would be something they would carry. You're gonna have people who are like, that is just ridiculous. It's a gimmick. But I think if they were ever to handle one, they would think to themselves, maybe that's not the case. PMP has done a really good job with all of the knives that I have here so far of doing the over-the-top, overbuilt thing, but not taking it too far to make them not functional. These are all great, great knives. This one might not be as functional as these other two, but it's still a great, great knife. Now, like I said, with any positives, there's some negatives. And with this being just first day, there's some stuff that I've noticed. So let's turn this around and talk about the negatives right after you hear from Coffee Brand Coffee.
No one likes to watch ads in the middle of a video. I don't like putting them in, but I do know that I gotta support what I do here. So I partnered with companies that I know I can trust. And today's sponsor is Coffee Brand Coffee. They're delivering quality coffee, freshly roasted on demand, ground to order and delivered to your door, and they're not doing anything political, so you don't have to worry about a company that you're supporting that is supporting causes that you might not agree with, because they don't support any causes. They just simply take the money and put it back into making a better product. So I would appreciate if you both support their new small business and my channel by checking out Coffee Brand Coffee and looking at their offerings. Use the link below and my coupon code Crazy Sharp on their website. It's Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S. Let's get back to this.
So on this first day, and then with the unboxing the other day as well, I unboxed this, I think the 3rd of July. The video went up on the 4th. The first and foremost is this thing it's massive. Like, look at that. In comparison to a Benchmade 940, I want you to think of how much space that takes up in your pocket. You could carry probably 2 Benchmade 940s, if not 3, in the space that you have to dedicate in your pocket to this. And on top of that, it's thick. Because like I said, you've got 5mm thick blade, but also then double that pretty much, because it looks like maybe 5 those look really similar. I think those scales are probably 5mm across. Now, I didn't mention it, but there is a light of weight reduction done in this, but still, this is the next point. It is heavy. This is probably the heaviest knife that is here at the house, period. Now, this is going to be part of my collection. I don't think I will let this go because I just find it so cool. But this thing is coming in at 10 ounces, 285 grams. That is a lot in your pocket. I tried carrying this in shorts. No way. Not even possible. Not even in a month of Sundays would you be able to really carry this in a pair of basketball shorts. 2 more quick things. This is absolutely going to tear up pockets. The pocket clip is not super tight. It's not, but you can see where it sits. It is positioned directly, and I think they probably did that kind of on purpose, but that pocket clip sits directly in the groove on that frag pattern as it cuts through right there. What that does is you're forcing that in and out of jeans, and I can already see it starting to tear up the jeans that I've been wearing them in today. That's going to be something that over the long run may be a negative, but I don't foresee me carrying this all the time. I think this is something that would just be kind of a novelty in pocket. No issues with the action or anything like that, but I will say that you've got to be careful with this thing being that heavy. It is kind of a finger guillotine. But the one thing I will say, I said the frag pattern is not sharp. It's not sharp. They did such a good job with everything, but that right there absolutely is sharp right there. That little point there where the frag, where that comes around, and it's the beginning of that little spot right there when it ties together. It gives it a lot of continuity and good look, but it is like a little hook. I may personally take that and knock that little area off and kind of round that off, because it is, as you can see, really sharp there and there. So it's like, it's pretty aggressive. If you get it in your finger, you know it's there. But it is big enough that you don't necessarily have to get in there. So not a lot of negatives. I'm not a fan of a lanyard hole on it, because I don't like the way they did it is okay, but I'm not a fan of the lanyard hole. I do like, though, the way they did this. This is first day in pocket, so there's some things that I'm going to forget. But yeah, ultimately, I love this knife. I find it insane and over the top enough to strike all the little wickets that I find cool. So we will carry this and see how I like it over the long stretch. But, you know, I think for around what I think they're like $400. I haven't looked it up real close. I think they're about $400. I think that it's well worth the money, especially if you're into something like this. So let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day.
So like I said, guys, I am taken aback by how PMP has done this and made this an actual functional knife. This is not just something that's a gimmick. If you wanted to carry this and use it, you absolutely could. It's not something that I think I would use on a day-to-day basis, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is insane how over the top this is and still meets all the requirements that I would need for a day-to-day functional carry knife. And on top of that, it's just, look at it. It's insane. It is crazy how cool this is. So not going to make this take any longer. It's first day in pockets. There's going to be a lot more to come on it. I'm sure that I'm going to carry this and use it over a long period of time. This is mine to keep. This came to me from PMP. So take that as you will. It was sent to me for them to publicize their knife through the video. So guys, that's it on this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down, but tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. Best thing you can do for any channel is to hit the like button. I say it all the time. If you've watched a video for more than 30 seconds, you have not hit the like button. You are doing the channels you love a disservice. I'm not just talking about my videos. If you want to support the channel financially, you saw the sponsor. I also have Tempered Trail as a channel sponsor. Either one of those vendors, Crazy Sharp, all one word, save you 5% at checkout. That is my coupon code. Coffee Brand Coffee. It's built in to the link. I have got an Amazon store. You can take that, pin it to your browser, use that for any Amazon shopping you're going to do. Doesn't cost you anything, but it supports the channel, and I have a tier-based membership where everyone has access to my Gilded server. Baseline and premium tier members are automatically entered into giveaways I do that are separate from the YouTube stuff, and the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube behind that paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comment section. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.